Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a crypto stock that has put up some absolutely mind-blowing numbers. The big question is the hype for real?
So just picture this for a second. A stock that doesn't just climb, but absolutely skyrockets over 600%, and not over years, but in just 6 months. Sounds kind of like a fantasy, right? Well, for one company, it's very, very real.
And that, of course, leads to the question on everyone's mind. Is it too late to get in on this? That's what we're tackling today as we look at Bitmine Immersion Technologies, or as it's known, BMNR. Let's figure out what's really driving this incredible surge. To really get why this stock went on such a massive run, you have to first understand the bull case, the optimistic side of the story. You see, BMNR is what's called a treasury company. That means their whole game is to just buy and hold one specific asset. And their strategy has a lot of people paying attention.
Okay, so the crucial thing to get here is that BMNR isn't your typical tech company. Its entire strategy, its whole reason for being, revolves around one thing: stacking up enormous amounts of Ethereum. We're talking about the world's second largest crypto platform, the one that powers all those smart contracts and dApps. BMNR is making a huge, all-in bet on its future.
And when we say a huge bet, we're not kidding. The company has just been gobbling up tokens, growing its treasury to hold nearly 4 million Ethereum.
So what does all that crypto actually add up to? Well, their combined cash and crypto assets are now valued at over $13 billion. That is an enormous position to hold.
And this is where their ambition really kicks into high gear. BMNR's publicly stated long-term goal is to own 5% of the entire circulating supply of Ethereum. I mean, think about that. Owning that big of a slice could give them a massive say in the network's future. It's a truly bold vision.
And look, this isn't just some far-off dream. They're actually walking the walk. Right now, they're already more than 2/3 of the way to their goal, holding over 3.2% of all the ETH out there.
And to top it all off, BMNR is sending a huge signal of confidence to its shareholders. They recently announced an annual dividend, something you almost never see in the crypto world. It really speaks to a commitment to delivering returns for their investors.
Okay, but let's be real. A 600% run-up is going to turn some heads, and not always in a good way. It naturally brings out the skeptics. So now we've got to flip the coin and look at the other side, the serious risks that have analysts raising some pretty big red flags.
All right, first up, a technical indicator that a lot of traders watch like a hawk. BMNAR stock price has actually dipped below its 50-day moving average. For many, that's a signal that the bullish momentum might be fading and a more bearish feeling is starting to creep in.
And it's not just what the charts are saying. Analysts over at Zacks think that even with this incredible performance, the stock's valuation has gotten stretched way too thin. In fact, they gave it a value score of F, basically saying it's just overvalued at its current price.
And then, of course, you have the big picture risks that are just baked into BMNR's strategy. Their fate is completely tied to the crypto world itself. That means you have to deal with intense price swings, the constant threat of new regulations, and of course, fierce competition from other, newer blockchains. So, you've got this massive potential on one hand, and these very real, very serious risks on the other. How is a potential investor supposed to weigh all that? Let's see what Wall Street thinks.
And this really nails the dilemma, right? It's the classic investor trade-off. On one side, you've got all those risks we just talked about, the volatility, the stretched valuation, the regulatory unknowns. But on the other side, the current consensus price target from Wall Street suggests there could be a potential upside of around 88% from here. So when you put all that together, the high risk and the potential for high reward, where do the analysts land? Well, the official consensus from Zacks is a rank 3, which basically means hold. It's not a strong buy, but it's not a strong sell either. It's right in the middle.
So the final takeaway from the pros is essentially to exercise some caution. They're suggesting that instead of jumping in right after this huge price surge, it might be smarter to watch BMNR from the sidelines and wait for a potentially better, more favorable entry point down the road. And all of this brings us to one final crucial question, the one that really gets to the very heart of the entire debate around BMNR, and one that every potential investor really has to answer for themselves. So what's the verdict? Is Bitmine's gigantic bet on Ethereum a truly visionary move, a sneak peek into the future of finance, or is it a massive bubble just waiting to pop? The answer really depends on whether you're a believer in the long-term vision or if you're wary of the short-term risk.
And that is the billion-dollar question. Thanks for joining this explainer.